Welcome to Soft Spoken with Mariah D. This is my very first episode, and honestly, I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited because I've been wanting to do this for such a long time. This podcast is going to be a place for real conversations, not the perfect version of life, not the social media version, the real version. We're going to talk about motherhood, relationships, healing, growth, and all the things that people don't always feel comfortable talking about. So if you're listening right now, thank you and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mariah. I'm a mother. I'm a woman who's made mistakes. I'm a woman who's learned lessons. And I'm still figuring life out every single day. I don't have all the answers. I don't have a perfect life. I'm just trying to become the best version of myself while raising my kids and navigating life the best way I know how. And honestly, some days are easier than others. Motherhood changed my life, and I know people say that all the time, but it really changed me. Being a mother is the most beautiful thing that I have ever experienced, but for real, it's also the hardest thing I've ever had to experience. It's kind of complicated, and for real, I think you have to be a mother to understand what I mean when I say that. My motherhood journey has looked a little different than most. I became a mom when I was 15 for the first time. At 15, you're still trying to figure out who you are, and suddenly you're responsible for another human being. I grew up fast. I had to. I learned responsibility before I was ready. I learned sacrifice before I fully understood sacrifice, or what sacrifice even meant. And then years later, at 25, 5 months ago, I became a mom again. It was a completely different experience. I'm not 15. At 15, I was a different person. Right now, I feel like I've had more life experiences, more lessons, and more wisdom. But one thing always stayed the same: the love. No matter how old I am, no matter what I am going through, my children give me a reason to keep going. There have been days where I felt strong, and there have been days where I felt like I was barely holding shit together, like about to just fall apart. But you take one look at your kids and you know you got to do it for them. If you're not okay, they not gonna be okay. If you're not happy, eventually they won't be happy. Your kids feed off your energy. I remember realizing that no matter what I was going through, my kids still needed me. Bliss did not stop. Stress did not stop. Life did not stop. And there were times when I had to push through things I never thought I could push through because somebody was dependent on me. Motherhood taught me a strength I did not know that I even had. It has taught me a love that I did not know existed. And I'm forever grateful for that. And honestly, that brings me to something I've been thinking about lately. I just want to be happy. I think for so long I've been living in survival mode, just trying to make it through, trying to hold on to everything, trying to hold everything together, trying to stay strong, and trying to figure this life shit out. And eventually, you get fucking tired. You start asking yourself, when do I get to stop surviving and start living? When do I get to experience peace? When do I get to breathe? I have never wanted to experience peace no more than I have now. There were times when I felt like every day was about making it to the next day. I still feel like that. Paying bills, figuring things out, taking care of everybody else, trying to stay strong when I didn't always feel strong. And by taking care of everybody else, I mean by being that shoulder for everybody. Holding your problems and your feelings deep down inside because you're still trying to be there and be that helping hand, or again, that shoulder for everybody else. Well, whose shoulder do you have? When you're that strong person, you get to asking yourself, who do I really have? Whose shoulder do I got for real? Especially when you just have this strong face. Nobody ever thinks anything is going on. Nobody thinks like, who can I run to? And somewhere along the way, I realized I had spent so much time surviving that I forgot what it actually felt like to enjoy life. And I know I can't be the only person who feels that way. And when I think about survival mode, I cannot help but think about relationships, because relationships have taught me a lot. Some of the hardest lessons of my life. I used to think love was enough. I used to think if you love somebody enough, everything else will fall into place. Love is complicated. Love can make you feel safe. It can make you feel seen, but love cannot make you question yourself. It's not love if you have to question yourself. Sometimes love will have you sitting there wondering, am I solid or am I stupid? Am I being this down loyal bitch or am I being fucking stupid? Okay? Like, for real, am I being solid or stupid? Because sometimes you keep giving chances, you keep understanding, you keep forgiving, and you don't even realize how much of yourself you are losing in the process. You don't understand or realize how much of yourself you are losing or have lost in the process until you damn near down to your knuckles and knees. Sometimes you love people through things they probably would not even love you through. You keep believing things will get better. You keep seeing potential. You keep giving chances. And one day you wake up and you realize you've been carrying a relationship longer than you have been enjoying it. And here's another thing that I have learned. Relationships are not always 50-50. Whoever came up with that shit, it was bullshit. Bullshit. It was bullshit. Sometimes you're going to find yourself giving more, carrying more, and fighting harder than the other person. Sometimes you might be giving 30 and your partner's giving 70. Sometimes your partner might be giving 70 and you're giving 30. If y'all really love each other, it's going to all balance out in the end. You're going to help your partner turn that 70 down to the 50, and you bring yours up to the 50 from that 30, and it'll all work out. But after a while, that shit gets exhausting. When you find yourself fighting harder than the other person all the time, it gets exhausting. Because everybody wants partnership. Nobody wants to carry everything alone. Sometimes I feel it. It's going to be like that. 70-30. It's going to be like that sometimes. Sometimes it might be a different outcome, But that shit get exhausting, And then that leads me to something I've been asking myself lately. Are people blessing blockers? Like, think about it. You ever had somebody in your life that wasn't necessarily like a bad person, but every time they was around, you just felt stuck, lost, confused, or just down for real? Because your energy can go down. You could not focus. You couldn't grow. You couldn't fully become who you were supposed to be. I have had moments where I knew I wanted more for myself, more peace, more growth, more stability. But I also had to be honest about whether the people around me was helping me get there or keeping me stuck in the same damn cycle. Sometimes people don't destroy your future. Sometimes they can distract you from it too. And that right there is a hard truth. One thing life has taught me is everybody can't go where you are going. Some people are only meant for a part of a chapter, not your whole book, baby. And that's okay. Honestly, that's one of the reasons I started this podcast. I needed a place where I could be honest, a place where I could talk freely, a place where I could share my experiences and maybe help somebody else feel less alone. For a long time, I kept a lot of things to myself. I really still do. I still handle things privately. I cry privately, and I figure things out on my own. But I realized that there are probably other women out there feeling the same exact way I feel. And maybe hearing someone else's story can help them feel less alone. Because I know I'm not the only woman trying to figure things out. I know I'm not the only mother who feels overwhelmed sometimes. And I know I'm not the only person who's tired of surviving. So if you decided to stay on this journey with me, we're going to talk about all of it. motherhood, relationships, healing, growth, girl talk, story times, life lessons, and everything in between. And before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for spending this time with me. And thank you for being here for episode 1. When I look back at my 15-year-old version self and compare her to the woman I am today, I realize how much I've grown. I'm still learning though, still healing, and still figuring things out. But I've came a long way. And there's something that I'm still learning every day, one step at a time. This is Soft Spoken with Mariah D, and this is episode 1. Remember, you deserve happiness too.